I just looked back at the clock and it was 4:44 p.m. So, if you're hearing this, the timing isn't a coincidence. It is a confirmation. Welcome back to my channel. So grateful to have you here. I know it's been a minute since I posted my last video, but life has a way of circling you back to your purpose. So, I guess the message is ready to be put out there. It's ready to be born. So here we are. As a matter of fact, the last day that I posted a video was September 11th, which is 9/11, 9/11. And when I think about that number, I think about it being like an emergency. So let's just take this as a spiritual wake-up call. Universe is saying to you, the old chapter is closed and you're now ready for a new one. So, what you gonna do? You gonna stay the same? Or are you ready to walk into a new one? I wanted to tell you a story about how I was having this conversation with someone and they were telling me that they were dealing with a lot of anxiety and that their doctor prescribed them medication for the anxiety. So I was like, oh, okay, that's good. What medication is it? And they was like, oh, I'm not taking no medication. God's going to heal me. God's going to fix me. And I'm just going to pray about it. And God's going to take my anxiety away. And I said, why don't you think that this is God answering your prayer? What you mean? She said, what you mean? I mean, why do you think that the thought that the doctor had to give you the advice or the recommendation, a suggestion to take the medicine wasn't an answer to your prayer? Now, I'm not going to go back and forth with people about stuff like that, but I just wanted to, whatever she decides to do, she decides to do. However, I just want to make sure that we're not blocking our blessings because they don't look like what you were expecting them to look like. You trying to dictate how God answers your prayer. Sometimes a miracle is wearing a disguise. You know? You know. You've been in situations where you like, for instance, maybe you been looking for a job and you finally take this part-time job not paying nearly as much as you thought it was going to pay. Or not thought it was going to pay, but like the salary you were looking for. But you go into a part-time job, and at that part-time job, you're exposed to so many new people and a whole different industry than you ever been in. And then you meet somebody, and that person walks in and hands you an opportunity. You would have never, ever got the opportunity had you not taken the job. So the blessing wasn't the job. The blessing was in the positioning of you at that job. Another thing I want to talk about was the saying, nobody's coming to save you. Like, I want to push back on that because, yes, of course, it is your responsibility to make sure that you do what you need to do to make sure you have the things that you need to have, which are peace, the things you need for your survival. Love, you have to make sure that you're in a position to receive the things that you need. If you've been traumatized by something, that wasn't your fault, but it is your responsibility to heal from it, right? But there are a thing as destiny helpers. There are people assigned to your path specifically to help you transition. You are not alone. So don't let anybody tell you that you have to do things by yourself and like you have to figure it all out. Because if we were supposed to be here and doing everything by ourselves, it would have been just you on the planet. We wouldn't have been put here with all of these different people if we were supposed to be here and do everything by ourselves. So, next time somebody says that, I urge you to push back on it because while nobody's coming to save you, air quotes, there are people who are coming to help you transition into your next stage of your life. And with that being said, I wanted to also touch on how you're a human. You are not a machine. If you need to talk about the same thing over and over and over until you decide you're done talking about it, you're so tired of talking about it, do that. Suppression is not strength, it's just a delay. You're just putting the pause button on the feeling. And trust me, it's going to come back up at the time when you least want it to come up. Okay, so you might as well talk it out, write it out, dance it out, go to the gym, work it out, whatever, walk it out, whatever you need to do. But don't shut it down because it's going to pop its little ugly head up at the most inconvenient time. I had to record this a second time because my daughter just walked in. Distractions, right? But honestly, that's just life. It's the perfect example of what I was just saying, though. We are not machines. We're humans living real lives. And sometimes the flow looks a little messy, and that's okay. So, picking back up, before I let you go, I have to tell you about the oracle cards I pulled right before I hit record. So I wanted to get a little confirmation from spirit, and wouldn't be right if I didn't do that. But the cards align perfectly with the energy of that 911. So I pulled success, union, and transformation. The message was so clear. Success is certain, but the union is the equalizer. It's about that partnership between you and the divine. It's you doing your part and then getting yourself in position. Similar to like the story about the part-time job, and then trusting that the universe is going to bring the transformation. Things are quickening, new things are being born, but you got to be willing to let go of the old version of the story that you've been telling yourself. Let it go so the new one can breathe. That story has to die. But anyway, I'm going to leave you with this. Be intentional. Watch your words. And please, for the love of everything divine and holy, feel your feelings. I said it before, but I want to really make sure you heard me. Like, suppression is not strength. It is a delay. Don't put your feelings on pause. Don't put your healing on the back burner because you think you should be over it by now. If you need to talk about it, then talk about it. In fact, let's just do that right here in the comment section. Go ahead, use it as your digital dumping ground. If you've been holding on to something heavy, let it out right here. Put it in the comments and leave it there so you don't have to carry it into your next chapter. I want you feeling light. I'm going to read the comments. This is a safe space, and hopefully you take something away from it. Matter of fact, if this message hit you where it needed to hit, go ahead and subscribe, whether it's your first time here or your 65th time, which would mean you've been watching my videos over and over again because I'm posted like 5, but you know what I'm saying. We're going to do a lot more of this because this felt good. This felt right. It didn't feel forced. So make it official and join our community. I'm clearing my throat. I'm using my voice, and I'm so glad I got to share a piece of it with you today. Take care of yourself. Do something kind for your soul. And I'll see you at the next one. Love you. Bye.